presentation of your proposed taxes for 2016 based upon the proposed levies of these various jurisdictions. And also it provides an estimate of what your new home value is proposed to be estimated at for 2016. Important to note while we're on this slide is that there's often confusion about the city's portion of the overall property taxes. The property owner receives one piece of paper. It comes from Hennepin County. It includes all the taxing jurisdictions, and often people will tend to look at the bottom line, which reflects the accumulation of all of the various taxes. It's important that when you receive questions from your constituents that we remind them the city is only responsible for the line item that says city, not for the county, not for the Met Council. Again, we only want to take credit for what we do. We don't want to take credit for what the counties do.
Usually the other way around, isn't
it? This pie chart simply lays out the various components of the city's overall levy. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to explain the portions that the city is actually responsible for, because we do have a portion that is provided to the Park Board. We are also on the hook, so to speak, to levy for the Teacher Retirement Association. That's merely a pass-through. We levy the money and it doesn't even come to us. The library referendum is the residual cost associated with capital improvements on the library system before we turned it over to Hennepin County. That is a slightly different kind of property tax levy based upon market value, and that's way more information than we want to talk about today. So property taxes are paid based upon the classification of your property, and we've gone through this before, so I won't bore you with that now. I think the important thing to take away is that over time, because of growth in various sectors within the city, different types of property owners are going to be on the hook for paying the property tax bill. So what you see here is that in 1996, the commercial industrial properties carried the burden or the bulk of the overall obligation to cover the city's property tax needs. And the chart on the right shows that residential properties are now approximately 50% of the overall obligated payers of the city's property tax. But from a positive standpoint, you will also see that in parentheses, the 2014 values actually had the residential properties at a higher proportion. So when we see the growth in the commercial and industrial as well as the apartments within the community, it actually provides a benefit to the city's residential homeowners in that proportionally the residential property owners are paying less overall. And from a side-by-side comparison by the various levies, I've laid out the 2 years worth. We see the 3.5% increase in the city's general fund, the increase for the Park Board of 4% on their general operations, and an increase in their tree levy. Our bond redemption levy has largely stabilized after a year of increase. We have continued to estimate a need, at least in the short term, to levy $27 million for the city's pension until we are able to affirm that we are indeed going to be seeing ongoing savings both on the expenditure side as well as an increase in the state aids associated with the city's pensions. The other levies are largely flat.
So somebody have a question? I was missing it. Okay. Thank you.
Moving on, again, the city's overall market values are going up, which has the impact of providing larger tax capacity to pay for the city's levy. Remember, we adopt a number and we spread it out over the city's valuation. The more value that we have in the community, the less burden it is on any individual property. The mayor's proposal includes that 3.4% levy increase. The tax rate, with a combination of the increase in values and of the increase in values of approximately 10 to 12%, offset by a relatively low property tax increase, actually provides for a decrease in the tax rate. When we looked at the year-to-year comparison of valuations, we've assumed that for residential properties that have valuation increases of 5% or less, they will actually see a reduction in the city portion of their property tax bill. Okay. There's a lot there, and I'd be happy to stand for any questions or certainly have conversations offline about any of the property tax impact information. With that, Chair Quincy had allotted me 15 minutes, and I've taken advantage of your good nature and rambled on because I love this stuff.
Well, it was very valuable.
Well,
so
I hope you enjoyed it. The next steps associated with the city's budget process, we have a meeting on the evening of November 18th. Is a public hearing. This will be after residents and other property owners have received their tax notices. Again, I need to confirm with Hennepin County when they're going to be mailed out, but typically they're mailed out the week following the election. So they should go out next week, which means that they will have had opportunity to review their proposed levy information and participate in the public comment session.
Yes, in past years, I mean, sometimes it's been days before our public comment period, so people haven't had an opportunity to really react. So you're thinking that it'll be mailed in probably 3 waves across the county within the next few days.
Chair Quincy, that's correct. They usually send out bulk mailings. So we have provided the county with the date in which we do our public hearing, but I'm not sure that that influences how they mail out their notices. We also have an opportunity for budget markup, which is an opportunity for members of the budget subcommittee to discuss and propose amendments to the mayor's recommended budget. I ask on behalf of the finance department and Chair Quincy's office that proposals are largely provided to our department by the end of the day on Monday, November 23rd, before Thanksgiving. And certainly anytime up until then, we're happy and encourage you to reach out to us to assist in looking at the proposals that you're interested in so we can craft some ideas. And finally, the budget is adopted on December 9th at 6:05 with a combined meeting of the council, the Board of Estimate and Taxation, as well as the Park Board.
Yeah.
And with that, we will be providing to you, members of the subcommittee, a summary of the various questions that were asked during the sessions with departments for the past couple of months, incorporating a summary of the local sales taxes so that you've got largely a packet of responses to the questions that have been asked over the last couple of months, and we hope to have that out by the end of this week.
Right. And traditionally, we've also had what we call chair's amendments. These are technical amendments. So we're going to be able to think about a process that'll make it a little more simplified rather than us having, 24 votes on items. We'll be looking at these technical amendments because also these reflect actual costs. When this budget was originally recommended and proposed, it was in the spring. And now we have actual costs, especially when we're talking about Met Council, et cetera, that we can have a better information to make a more precise decision. So I do encourage people to let myself as well as finance department know as we're able to craft responses and options without doing any overall harm to the budget. I think that's well within what I'm expecting to see, and I think I've spoken to a number of council members during the process, and we look forward to having those reactions to those comments that have been collected through our department hearing process, which was widely attended. So I thank all of my colleagues very much for their participation and preparation for these meetings. They've all been well attended and had some great conversations. Are there any further questions for Ms. Christensen? Okay, not seeing any. Thank you very much for Ms. Christensen and the entire finance team and all of our department heads who crafted their budget proposals. And we look forward to, we have 2 days of markup, but I'm anticipating that we'll be able to, as we did last year, accomplish all our work in 1 day. So thank you. See you soon.